DC K.O. ended last week, at least for now, and now DC is taking it to the next level. Already we're seeing King Omega, and guess who it was, topped by Emperor Aquaman. Maybe I shouldn't have said it that way. Hey everybody, welcome to the weekly stack. Again, still workshopping the name. Once again, it is a stack in which I have actually read everything that I picked up at House of Secrets in Burbank. So, here it goes. I go to House of Secrets and I buy these books, and then I go through and explain why I like them or why I took a chance on them, and see if maybe you want to take a chance on them too. And as always, if you yourself have a book that you love that I have not read yet, or I've not given a fair chance to, by all means, let me know, because I can't get everything, and as good a store as every store that I've ever been in has tried to be, they can't carry everything. So you might know something very obscure, or you might have kickstarted something that came through and then I'll have to check online to get it, or you've been to a convention, all that. Anyway, so I did lead with DC K.O. number 5 has come to it. That means it has come to an end until we get that video game that I have no idea if it actually will exist, but boy, it would be good. So Scott Snyder is the writer. Joshua Williamson is the writer of the interlude and the coda, which, you can guess where the coda is going to go if you've been paying attention. All I can say is it's absolutely okay. Javi Fernandez is the artist. Hermanico is the artist of the interlude, and Wes Craig is the artist of the coda. Alejandro Sanchez is the colorist, and Hassan Otsmane Elhau is the letterer. And again, I'm really not sure how to pronounce Hassan's name, but he's a great letterer. Never met them. If you know that I'm mispronouncing it, please, again, let me know politely. Anyway, so it does reach an end. There's some things with Doomsday / the Time Trapper. I'm not sure how that's supposed to work in reality when the Time Trapper has now had like 3 different revealed identities in different universes, and that's still confusing to me, but okay. I don't know why it is, because I've been along for all of it, and I've read comics since 1969, when I didn't understand anything, to getting through all the various crises, and now the KO, which, I mean, if you're going to top a crisis, you got to do it with a KO, right? And that's next level. Boy, we're using a lot of these things. Anyway, it's fun. It's fun, and that's about all I can say on it. It's a crossover. It's not the greatest of the crossovers, I think, but that just means for me, because I've been through so many. Tom Brevoort was just talking about crossovers in Marvel Comics, and it's like, it's kind of exhausting. Though, I admit, I've enjoyed going through all the other books that I don't buy to get to these crossovers, to see how the fights go and so forth. And, rekindled some affection for some characters. Next is JSA, and that is number 17. You may notice that Will Everett, Amazing Man, is on the cover, and I love that. This is by Jeff Lemire, and it's hidden. Jeff Lemire, and there's a backup story with art by Joey Vasquez, and this is, but the main story is artist by Kevin Guidry, the colors are Luis Guerrero, and the letterer is Stephen Wands. And I don't know who in the backstory. Colors is same people. Actually, I think it was a pretty clever move. They've suckered me into year 1, and I don't mean suckered like in a bad way. I willingly went forward. And then they are hinting in a backup story what's happening to the JSA in 2026. They were betrayed from within, destroyed by Johnny Sorrow, or at least their confidence was very, very, very shaken. And now they got to rebuild. and go forward, and that's why Lemire went and flashed back to 1940. And as I said, including Will Everett is great because Amazing Man was part of the All Star Squadron, and I'll be honest, I think he is a creation of Roy Thomas and Jerry Ordway, because I hate to say it, but it's hard for me to imagine that Will Everett was a regular character in DC Comics in 1940 or 1941. I think for obvious reasons. But I think he's a great character, and I think there's a lot that can be done with Will Everett. So, cool. Anyway, and as much as I like Amazing Man, I want a resurgence of Amazing Man. Look him up. Anyway, that's a real character. Next is I Am Caught Up, Absolute Flash, number 12. And this being by Jeff Lemire again. Woo! Nick Robles and Al Kaplan are the artists, and Adriano Lucas on color, Tom Napolitano on letters. This story has gotten, it got more exciting. There's definitely a lot more danger, I think, to the Speed Force. And maybe part of the problem for me with Absolute Flash is just that, again, I've been reading comics since long before the Flash had a Speed Force. He was just fast. He had a Flash aura. Jumping right to a crisis in the Speed Force, it makes sense for what the Absolute Universe is, but it just, But the Rogues, definitely cool, different spin. This Absolute version of the Trickster is kind of weirding me out, but in a very good way. We loved the take on Grodd. When I say we, it's a couple of my friends and I had talked about that. We like where Grodd went. And then setting up whatever the next arc is pulling Grodd in a different direction. And I kind of like that, It's hard to know where the loyalties of anybody lie, other than the people we know as heroes clearly remain as heroes. But in a world that's infected by Darkseid, what's a villain? So we'll see. Caught Up with Absolute Superman, number 17. This is by Jason Aaron as the writer. Juan Ferreira is the artist and colorist. And Becca Carey is the letterer. See, that's what threw me off. Anyway, overall, this introduces the Absolute Parasite, although I think maybe he did appear in the previous issue, like near the end. Very interesting solution there. I would say that this version of Superman is both exactly who the regular Kal-El is as we know him, and most clearly even in the movie version, but still presented in such a different way that it's inspiring. What is also included here is the version of Absolute Lex Luthor, and the team up, if you will, of Absolute Brainiac and Absolute Lex Luthor is creepy as heck. So well worth reading Absolute Superman, as it's also well worth reading, I think, again, all the Absolutes. They've been fun. I know that there are a couple more planned, and I'm looking forward to that. Hello Darkness. This is number 20. It's March 26, number 19. Variety of creators: Tate Brownball, Peter Kowalski, Brad Simpson, Ed Dukeshire, Paulina Ganicho, Becca Carey, Robert Hack, Fellhound. I don't know who that is, but good writer. Jody Troutman, and part 2 of there's a 3-part story in here. I like having a mix of short stories and then continuing longer stories. I mean, they're still short because I think they said that part 3 will be the last part. That's by Sam Humphries, illustrated by Eleonora Carlini, and letters by Jody Troutman. Cassie is sort of a demon-infused women's baseball team, or women's baseball, and a whole league where magic is, or sorcery and demonology is coming into play. It's interesting. I do want to call out that every issue of this features has a little one-page feature called "I Can't Take You Anywhere" by Robert Hack, and there's like 3 or 4 one-panel jokes that are very dark-humored, And I realized this week I look forward to that almost more than anything else in the comic. In both Hello Darkness and it's one of my overall favorite little. I get a shot, an infusion of dark humor, and I like it. So I haven't met this person, but they're doing great. So I hope maybe at some point Boom Studios will actually collect all those. I Can't Take You Anywhere into a little digest or something, to really just focus on that work. Batman #7 by, as mentioned before, Matt Fraction and Jorge Jimenez is the artist and cover. Tomeo Mori is the colorist, and Clayton Cowles with Jorge Jimenez are doing lettering. So this also, again, one thing that you just don't quite get with with anything other than comics. It says on the cover, featuring a stunning fold-out sequence, and I won't show you the full fold-out. This is just the center fold, and then it unfolds into a terrific thing. And again, it's just kind of the thing that comics does better than anything else. It's a little bit interactive. I love a comic that is playing with the form a little bit, and and better. It doesn't make you fold it out in a way that like a '70s Playboy magazine. It's it's wide. It's widescreen. It's terrific, and the Joker is back. That's what the cover says. And it's a very cool take on what's happened to the Joker in this new reality of Arkham Asylum. And it's just, Fraction brought a very, very cool take. And I love Menace's art on this and this new version of the Joker. So there we go. Whoops, I threw in Absolute Supermans because I caught up. So is that really it? Was that all I had last week? It is. So I had to, grab my old stacks and get through there, and I caught up on Absolute Batman, etc. I don't want to make this too long because I know it's like essentially a week behind. I read all these books and just, wow. Somehow things in life got out of the way, out of control, so I was unable to sit down and record this. Notice I'm recording in a different spot in the house because I just thought, well, let's see what happens with this one. So thank you. I hope that maybe you pick up some of these books and go, oh, cool. Or you're already reading them and go, yeah, he's right. I don't know. Let me know. You can write into editor@fanboyplanet.com if you have a suggestion or a comment to make. I appreciate feedback all the time. And again, thanks for being with me. And if you're watching this, I know there are slicker podcasts, if you will, but I also really enjoy being able to share out. And right now, I need that probably more than you need to watch me, because it's easy to feel disconnected right now. Comics connect me with a community, and this connects me with a community. So, thank you for being here. And until next time, which will be sooner than it was between the last one, use your powers for good.